evening and welcome to the post-game press conference for the FIBA Asia Cup 2022. The quarterfinals game between Australia and Japan. The game ended with score 99 for Australia and 85 for Japan. The Japan team's coach Tom Halves, and player number 39, Keisei Tominaga, have joined us. So may I ask you to switch off your mobile phones. The press conference will be conducted in English. Coach Halves, can you please give us your comments about the game?
Yes. Well, first I would like to say I'm very, very proud of the team, the players. They never gave up. It was there were times when Australia just kept getting offensive rebounds and we were missing shots, and there were a lot of times when we could have just stopped playing, but we didn't. And we made it an interesting game. There were a couple times where we could have knocked it down to 7 points at one point. And Australia, you have to give them credit. They hit some big shots to keep the lead going. But I loved our effort. I loved our attitude. At halftime, it wasn't about X's and O's at all for us in the locker room. It was about playing our style of basketball till the very end and continuing to just push and push and push. And it was fun to watch. So it was a growing game. Losing always is terrible. But I don't feel bad about this game. Just we gave ourselves a chance, and we took a step forward as a team, which is always great. So we're growing, and I think our fan base is growing, and people are starting to believe us a little bit more and more. And getting respect from your opponents. And getting respect from other teams and fans is huge for basketball. It just in general as players and coaches. So it was a big step for us. I'm happy.
Thank you, Coach. Tominaga, can you please give us your comments about the game?
Can I speak Japanese? Yeah.
いい通訳さんいるから大丈夫です。
本当に負けたのは本当に悔しいんですけど、本当に最後まで自分たち諦めずに戦い抜けたことは本当に自分たちのその自信にもつながりましたし、本当にこの1ヶ月半このチームメイトみんなと一緒にやってきて、本当に一日一日成長できたと思いますし、これから先もっともっと自分たちのチームその場所に戻っても、本当にここでの経験を忘れずに本当にこれからもやっていけたらいいなと思うのと、本当に最後までこうやってみんなと一緒にバスケットできたのは本当にみんなのことを誇りに思います。とても楽しかったです。
Well, first of all, obviously it was a difficult loss, and we felt that through the bottom, but in some way also burst our confidence because we were able to play our very own brand of basketball until the end. Being here and be able to see everyone's daily growth from day one of this event was really nice to see, and for sure we won't forget this experience, and overall it was a fun event, this Asian Cup.
Thank you. Any questions in English?
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, Keisei. I'm Adrian from Main Basket Indonesia. Just like my ordinary equation, what is the game plan for today's before? And second one, do you think anything will change if Utah was in the court? And also the third one, I take my chances. Yeah. And so the third one, after this tournament, what is the puzzle, the piece of puzzle that you will add for the next tournament?
Okay. Well, I couldn't understand the first question. Sorry.
The game plan. The game plan before.
Oh, okay, so the game plan for today was to set a fast pace. We were trying not to lose the battle of physicality and rebounding, and in the first half we definitely did, and that kind of set the tone. When we got behind right from the beginning, it was not the start that we were hoping for. The second team in the first half, man, they were fantastic. They changed everything. They got us back in the game. And then our starters picked it up, and from that point on, it was really good. Again, against a team like Australia, you have to play 40 minutes. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble. The second question... Yuta Watanabe. So, yeah, of course. I mean, Yuta, our leading scorer, our leading rebounder going into this game, I think he would have definitely helped us on the boards. And the defense that they're playing, they do all switches, and it makes it difficult for us to get into the paint and score. And Utah's really good at that. So I think if Utah would have been in the game, they might not have been able to run that defense for a long time. But, you know, he wasn't there, and I'm really happy that he came to this event, and I think he enjoyed playing with these young guys. So we're looking forward to him coming back in the next event. So keys for the next window or things that we picked up. Well, Suda was a player that we weren't sure about, and he really stepped up, and I think we can definitely use him in the future. Tominaga, we had 6 weeks ago. I've never seen him play in person, and he's obviously a phenomenal shooter, very confident, strong-willed kid, and he can definitely help us in the future. We found Yoshi can play. Inoue had a very good tournament. So there's some young guys who have stepped up, and yeah, we're finding little pieces to the puzzle. So I think this was a successful tournament for us.
Any other questions?
Hi, Coach. Hi, Casey. Congratulations for well played tournaments.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, first for Coach Tom, did you prioritize a more aggressive role for Casey offensively in this game, or was that something that just came along as the game progressed?
Yeah. So, as you can tell, with shooters, it's typical. So the last game, he didn't make a shot. This game he got on fire. So as a young shooter, we try to get these waves as small as possible. He's still young and he's got some big waves. But when he gets on fire, holy man, oh man, he shot one from almost half court. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see his growth.
Okay, for Casey, did you feel some pressure to put on a bigger role in the game today and stepping up as a leader for the team?
いや別に全然緊張はしてなかったんですけど、本当に前回の試合でそのシュートが全然タッチが合わなくて、なかなかそのチームを助けれなかったっていうところ、本当に悔しくて、けど本当にこの試合はまた切り替えてやっていくことをその試合前からもう心に決めていて、本当にその今日の部分では本当にシュートのタッチが当たってて、本当に打ったら入るっていう感覚があったんで、そこのところのプレッシャーはなかったんですけど、本当に自分のその役割をこなしたってだけかなと思ってます。
First of all, I was not nervous. There was no pressure regarding my playing. But yeah, for last time I stepped into the court, I could not help much with my shooting. But after that, I switched my mindset, and well, frankly, I did really good proportion of contribution in the court. So it was really refreshing and nice to feel that I had played my role.
And one last one here for Coach, just to wrap this up a bit.
Yes.
Obviously, Casey, a player of very much potential, but you said that you had only seen him in person 6 weeks before this?
6 weeks ago, yeah.
Has he exceeded your expectations on the potential that he
Yes.
has?
Yeah, offensively, yes. I knew he was a good shooter. He has a good feel for pump fakes and creating his own shot and scoring in the paint. Sometimes he does it too much. I was really concerned about his defense coming in. There are still some things he has to work on, but he was better defensively than I thought as well. So it's been really positive working with him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it more in the future.
Any other questions from the floor?
Yeah, hello, Coach Tom. I'm Kelvin from Kompas Indonesia. Coach, I think this is a better game from the last meeting with Australia in qualifier.
Yes, yes.
And you play without Utah too. Again, the best team in Asia, I think. Coach, what do you see the future of Japanese basketball with this style of play? What your team can achieve in the future?
Well, that's the style we want to play. Just very fast tempo. We need to be a little bit better on the boards. We had some defensive lapses, but that's how we want to play. And when Utah comes back, when Rui Hachimura gets in there, and Baba Udai, some bigger bodies that can score and rebound and defend, and I think it's just going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting for us. That's why these games are so important, to create a good team, so when they come in, they have to come in and fit with what we're doing. And I think we're definitely heading in the right direction.
Coach, there are questions.
Yes.
The first one from Takeshi Shibata.
Nice.
The first questions. After a 15-3 opening run by the Boomers, you guys really were able to stay in it despite being out-rebounded 13-31 in the first half. Then Japan responded very well at the beginning of the third quarter. What did you say to your players during the halftime? The second one.
Yeah. Yep.
And the other hand, with this kind of number in rebounding, we need to be really superior from beyond the arc. If we want to beat this great teams, do you think it's possible to build that kind of a team?
Okay, so at halftime, I got a little excited. It wasn't, at halftime, it wasn't about X's and O's at all. It was about finishing this game with pride and finishing this game the way we can play. So I was trying to just reach and take out as much emotion from the players as possible. I wanted them to just lay everything on the line 100% for 20 full minutes. So I think they responded to that. That was a fun second half. Yeah, rebounding is always Japan's a problem for Japan. With the players, Rui and Baba and Utah, it'll give us more size, and they fit into the system perfectly. So that'll help a lot. You work on rebound. We work on rebounding philosophies, footwork every day. But when you match up 6'4" against 7'1" or 7-foot Thon Maker, it's a little bit difficult. But we did our best.
Last questions, Coach. Tominaga, Inui, Yoshi made huge impact to this game. How do you feel about the growth of young players in this tournament?
Yeah, no, that's one of the big takeaways is players like Tominaga, Yoshi played great. Inoue, he played great as well. He had a great game. Suda's not young, but he really stepped up too. So seeing these guys come in and accept their roles and just play with everything that they have, it was fantastic. So I'm excited about the future of Japan basketball.
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Tominaga.
you.
This is the end of
Thank
the
you.
first part of the press conference.
Thank you. Thank
We'll
you.
be back soon with the Team Australia. Welcome back to the second part of this post-game press conference. We now have with us the Australian team with Coach Michael Clancy Kelly and player number 25, Race Anthony Vague. Coach Kelly, congratulations for the win.
Thank you.
Can you please give us your comments about the game?
Yeah, I'm still recovering from that fourth quarter. It was, you know, I'm really proud of our guys for the fight and the style of play. Our guys, I think, played well. And shoot, I'm, I don't know the right word, but proud's probably not the right word, but I think the fight shown by the Japanese team was something special. And it made for an amazing game. Some nervous moments during the fourth quarter. I was happy overall with our defense, probably for like 2 of the quarters. And then some of the shots they made in the fourth quarter were unbelievable and gave them a chance. At the same time, I was happy with the way our guys steadied and continued to play the right way on the offensive end, and it was the best offensive game that we've had in the tournament.
Thank you, Coach. Vei, can you please also give us your comments?
Yeah, I'm much the same. Japan really had a big fight back in that fourth quarter, and I was happy with how we steadied towards the end of it. They're a tough team. They're very talented. They play hard, so it's never going to be, you're never going to walk over a team like that. So yeah, I was proud of the way we went back at them, but there's a few things that we can get out of that we can work on for next game.
Thank you. Any questions in English?
Check. Good evening, Coach. Good evening, Riz. My name is Adrian from Main Basket Indonesia. First, Coach, I saw you guys play some kind of like all switch defense. So can you tell us more about your game plan?
Yeah, we started out with, in their pick and rolls, we started in a show. And, but because they move so quickly and move the ball so quickly, sometimes it's hard for our bigger players to be there, to do their part of the defense, so it ends up in a switch. And then basically the whole last 3 quarters we switched all the on-ball screens. And our guys did a pretty good job overall, but the natural instinct of the bigs is to shrink back into inside the three-point line, and they took advantage of that a few times by knocking down some shots. But that was our game plan, was to first try to show a little bit, and then we adjusted and just tried to stay in front as best we could and not give them easy three-pointers. So easier said than done.
Thank you, Coach. And for Riz, there is a lot of talk about basketball. Is about one of the main things is about size, and you guys now that's your advantage tonight. But you're on the court playing against this guy Yuki Togashi and also Keisei Tominaga, who put you 33 and 14 points. How do you feel playing against the little player? Sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a bit odd playing against players those size, especially, well, not for me, because I play in Japan, but for most people on our team. But they play a lot bigger than what they are. Like it's not like you think you're going to put your hand up and it's going to deter them. Like they train all like this. Like they're fine with shooting over 6'8", 6'9" players. Like, yeah, they're so well drilled, and yeah, I mean, it is a bit odd, but they play a lot bigger than what they are. So,
thank you, Chris. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Yeah, hello, Coach Mike. I'm Kelvin from Kompas Indonesia. Coach, I think Japan team is lack of size compared than your team. But do you think the way Japan play is the best style to small team like them? Thank you, Coach.
I don't know if it's the best way, but they do it very well. Coach Hovas and his staff, I think it's coming along, that style of play on the Japanese men's side. I think that was probably the best, at least in patches that I've seen them play, other than maybe Syria, where they were lights out. You know, they've gone one style of where offensively they're really tough to guard, and then defensively, at times, I think their lack of size can hurt them. Like we were able to get into the paint and score a little more than we have in other games here in the tournament. So, but yeah, it's definitely a way to take advantage of their quickness and speed, and less less quickness and speed on our team, but more size. So one of the best ways.
Second question, Coach. Coach, your team have many young talents like Proctor, like Gidi, who doesn't in the team. Australia have a bright future. Can you share to us, Indonesia, how Australia create and found the talent like that? Thank you.
Share how they what?
To create the talent like Gidi or Proctor.
Yeah, it's a good question. I know that Andrew Vlahov and Shane Froling are over here a lot doing some coaching. I think they're two good guys to listen to, but the structure of Australian basketball is really good at the youth level, and for the most part the teaching is solid and fundamental, and then Basketball Australia does a great job of recognizing who has that skill and talent and the chance to go further, and then they just get good coaching all the way through, and then the Australian culture in general is just a culture of toughness and sporting, love of sports and competition. So I think when you kind of put that together and compete, then good things happen.
Any other questions? Coach Kelly, there's one questions from Kaz Nagatsuka from Sportiva Japan. You guys beat Japan by 40 plus points in Melbourne a few weeks ago, but the difference was not as many tonight. I know both teams had different roster this time, but how different did Japan look through your eyes?
Well, when Japan hit 8 threes in the fourth quarter, they looked very different. But they played with I think they played with a little more confidence and swagger tonight, and they hit shots. So I think they were very good offensively and tough to defend. So a little bit different, but as you said, both teams had different players somewhat, and I thought our guys responded well and did what they needed to do to get the win in advance.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach Kelly. Thank you, Vay. This is the end of the post-game press conference.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.